Following program, though incredibly nerdy, is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised, and you probably shouldn't watch if you're an overly sensitive pussy.
Someday you'll go too far.
Absolutely. Yeah. You ain't gotta put my name on this. Knowledge of self. I'm from a pocket where Impalas gobbled the health of a vice lord. Rap music from the trunk of a Chevy is how my life scored. Distorted bass, black mind looking like a physics class whiteboard. You can take my place if you fight for it. My mic caught it, I write portraits and rap polite orbits around whoever you might feel is important. Last album came with a porch and a mortgage. If you can't afford it, then jump off it. The stepper setters at George's, the young and gorgeous who used to breakfast at Zorba's, breath control of a swordfish. We're more better yets than a thesaurus. We got options, we got layers. An undisclosed number of poles in the studio. So after the flow, and I can go vote for mayor and hey, work the Huggy Bayer. What say word to me, but I don't fucking care about what you doing up in here. I got so much faith in my barber that I ain't even bothered since the black and gold starter in that 63rd Street beach water, just like an otter. Chicago Sean Carter, except he's odder. When you're friends with robbers and martial artists for fathers, things get fostered and fathered further. Divergence that's hard to follow. I'm hard to fall off. We are never touched like Ketzi and Karloff. My mental state is calm like Grand Theft Auto with all the stars off. Superstar skateboard kicking like he is sawed off. Man carry license plate cover how much the car costs. A lot. That's a lot like 47th and Woodlawn, piloted with my good arm. It's much more than Chicago's Rushmore. By the time the deal done, they got to put me on the real one. What's up?
What the fuck? What the hell? Did that just glitch for you guys? What the heck? What the hell? I was like, okay, cool, we'll get in here. Let's go. This will be great. And I don't know. Now I feel like everything's gonna crash. Did it glitch for you? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? I mean, I am crazy, but what I mean is, did that happen? Hello? Anyways, what is up, everybody, and welcome on into another stream. Look, I've got good news, I've got bad news. So let's just get into it. Let's be talking about it. Lots to get into. Of course, we got to talk about Tobey. Feel like it might be RIP for our boy. I can't believe it. We're going to talk about it. We'll get into it. A lot of fans are freaking out about this. I think people are divided on it. And it'll be an interesting conversation to have, you know, getting into the rumors, explaining how it's all John Campia's fault. All John Campia's fault, of course. And we'll explain all of that. Yeah, we'll talk about it. There's other things going on. Got a bunch of news. I definitely want to nerd out about the X-Men. We must discuss James Gunn and the DCU Batman plan. Really interesting stuff coming out about Kevin Feige and his total and complete focus on Doomsday and Secret Wars for a year plus. And some of the things he stepped away to do. And then, you know, Dave Filoni is being targeted. Did you guys see this? Did you guys see this? Like, it's not just that he doesn't like Andor, but now he doesn't like Visions. And it was The Wrap as well, man. Somebody at The Wrap does not like Filoni. Like, what's up with that? So we'll get into it. We'll discuss it all. And I have, as I said at the top, guys, I have good news. I have bad news. So let's discuss it. How y'all doing? Everybody doing good? Everybody excited? Get into some news, having a good time. Listen, shut your mouth. I don't care. Listen, here's the reality of the situation. There's a storm coming, okay? And in a lot of ways, Canada, Trev's homeland, it floats over me like an ominous dark cloud of Canadianism. I live very close to Canada. And so Canada's always kind of hovering over me like a dark, cold cloud. But today, this weekend, going into next week, Canada's like doing really crazy stuff. And do you guys know about this storm? I'm talking about the storm. I'm talking about some like Arctic bullshit stuff. Let me see if I can pull this up for you. You guys got to see this. Have you seen the pictures? Have you seen it? Look at this. Thanks a lot, Canada. Really fucking with my shit here. Look at this. There's this like Canadian air thing that's just hovering down into the country, like sagging super low into America, causing down here in like areas that you wouldn't really expect it, possible snow and like really, really bad things to happen. But up by me, it's causing the coldest weather I've ever fucking experienced. So I was in here on Monday and it was really, really cold and we streamed and everything. I'm pretty sure I had a hat and a coat on Monday too because it was so cold. Yesterday when I was trying to work in here, it was unfucking bearable. It was -6 degrees in this office. So it's not just that it's really, really cold. It's that it's really, really cold and this office is ice and I still haven't fixed it. And so listen, Linda, we're delaying the stream we were supposed to do on Friday into next week, okay? I'm not streaming on Friday. I might not stream on Monday, to be honest with you. I was thinking about not streaming tomorrow as well, but I think I can stream tomorrow. I actually think tomorrow's going to be like a relatively warm day. It'll be in the 20s here. But yeah, like basically, guys, this thing, and it could change. Maybe people are freaking out over nothing, and maybe it won't be that bad, but like... what I'm seeing is like Friday and over the weekend, it's going to be so fucking cold here. Just like relatively close to where I'm at will be like -30, -40, -50 degrees. So basically we're streaming tomorrow and then that might be the last stream for a while. Like I'll try to stream next week. Actually, one of the things I want to do this weekend is go out and get a much better space heater. I have 3 pairs of pants on. I've got a sweater, a coat, and a hat, and I have two space heaters blasting my cheeks right now. Blasting them. Full blast into my cheeks, and I'm still really, really cold. And this is better than it was yesterday. But yeah, so look, I understand. I'm sorry. We were going to do the Nerd EFAP on Friday, that stream. We're going to delay that. We'll delay that into next week. Hopefully things improve by next week. Okay, so that's the bad news, chat. All right, let it out of your system. Here we go. Let's go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me you're mad. Part-time streamer. All the bullshit. Put on your Long John's dog. Trust me. And this is your fault, Trev. I didn't see what you said, but you realize this is your fault, right? Why not bump that up? What do you mean? I hate you, Josh. Okay, right on. I live in Florida. It's 75 degrees and sunny. Yo, just be careful. Hey, in all seriousness, though, you guys might want... Be tougher. Thanks, bud. In all seriousness, you might want to check out what the weather's going to look like. Dude, there might be snow in, like, northern Texas. And do you remember when that power grid got knocked out? I think it was in 2021, maybe 2022, in Texas. Places that are not prepared for this kind of thing can have some serious problems in infrastructure. Seriously, you should probably prepare and look at... Because I'm telling you, it is a big storm. It's possible it doesn't materialize in the way that people are saying. But guys, this shit could be bad. I'm actually dead ass. Like, the part of the reason I'm taking Friday off is I want to prepare for the weekend, make sure everybody's okay. And yeah, it is truly awful to work in this office when it is that cold. So probably I guess what I'm saying is this: if it's as bad as people say, then I'm not going to stream on Friday, and I probably won't stream on Monday. But it should get a little bit better going into the later part of next week. And I'm going to go get some kind of crazy better space heater thing. I might even get a literal snowsuit or something to do it. Minnesota, it's cold. Yeah, I used to live in Minnesota. Got to get a haircut before the storm. Exactly. Adam, you get it. And speaking of Adam, that's the bad news. Let's talk about the good news, though. And the good news is I've basically finished the first of my new Warhammer painting project, the Deathwing Knights. I know you are all very interested in it, so I have here a video. I'm going to show you the whole thing. I got the power vents in the back and a little bit of OSL, a little bit of lighting like that. Oh my god! I actually have the base on there. I went with like a dusty base. It's not in this video. I can pull up the other pictures and videos if you want me to. But yeah, I mean, like, dude, pretty good success. And this is the first of this unit that I'm doing. I have 4 more to do, and I think that the rest of them are going to look even better. So I'm hoping, like, I learned a bunch of shit doing this one, and we'll kind of take that into the next one and take that into the next one. So yeah, and then you know, my painting, the place where I paint is not in this office, so I can still do that when it's really, really cold. So don't worry, guys. I will still be making some progress on painting Warhammer. Okay, now that we got all that out of the way, we can get into the regular show. How you guys doing? How's life, man? Hey, first of all, before we get into some of this shit, because there is some shit to get into. My God, how y'all feeling, man? How you guys doing? How's the week treating you? How's things going? We're 21 days into this new year. Can you believe it? It feels like we've been in 2026 for a half a day, and yet at the same time it feels like it's already been a decade of 2026. That's how I'm feeling. I don't know how you guys are feeling. The beginning of the year feels like it's taken place inside the warp of Warhammer, where time does not work the way that it should. I feel exhausted, but it's okay. We're gonna make it. It's good. Your audio's on the wrong mic. No, it's not. I checked it already. Actually, it's on the good mic. You know what the truth is? You're on the bad ear. You're on your bad brain. Switch your brain to the right brain. To the better brain, bud. Okay. 4 hours into my workday could be worse. There you go. That's a good way to look at it. Okay, I'll catch up on some of these soupies and the member chats and all that sort of stuff. Then we're going to get into this shit, okay? Rossi says, show us your painted doll. Oh, again? Again? Just print and paint 10-inch statues now. What do you mean? Like for Unity? I might do something like that. We'll see. The Mall Shadow Lord trailers online tomorrow, Josh. Okay, sick. That's good. The He-Man trailer's dropping tomorrow as well. And like I said, we will do a stream tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be one of the warmer days right before it gets like bitter cold. So we'll do a stream. Look, I just didn't want to suffer through our first EFAP stream, the nerdy FAP with Iron Man. I want that to be like a really enjoyable stream. Plus, I think a lot of people will go back and visit that stream. I'm trying to build these in a way that even if somebody gets a membership like later in the year, if they're like super hardcore and they're hyper fixated on Doomsday, they can go back and watch the deep dive streams, the EFAP streams where we go over all of the Marvel movies. So I want that stream to be really good, man. And I'm telling you right now, like it was literally, it's just too cold. It's too cold. So we'll push it into next week. And again, it's Canada's fault. I've been sitting outside my work site for an hour and a half waiting for my lead to show up so that we can get started. Sounds about right. That sounds like par for the course, terrible, horrible, and you won't be able to complain too much about it because the guy probably has seniority over you. So, yep, there you go. Yeah, but we'll watch that Mall trailer tomorrow. That'll be fun to stream tomorrow. Zach says, it's not like he won't be back for Secret Wars. Oh, shit, you talking about Toby? That is a good... we're definitely going to get into all of that. That is definitely true, or at least it seems to be true. I wonder if Toby gets killed rather quickly and he's not really in Doomsday a lot, you know, I think people might be mad, but would you be okay with it if he then was in Secret Wars somehow, some way? I don't know. That's kind of an interesting question for the chat. But yeah, that's possible. Chris says some Daniel hot sauce will keep you warm. Yeah, to keep my my bumhole warm. That's for sure. Rossi says first free UFC pay-per-view at 9 a.m. or p.m. rather Eastern Saturday on Paramount Plus. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one, man. I guess is it a free pay-per-view or is it just one of their events now? You know what I mean? I don't think they're doing pay-per-views anymore, but yeah, it's gonna be free. It's gonna be awesome. But we're also probably all gonna be freezing our ass off, dude. It's supposed to be so cold here on Saturday. Like, the high is 4 degrees on Saturday. So, yeah, no, I'm excited for the UFC as long as we don't all die. Vessel's Vocal says, cheers, brother. Just found out I'm going to be a father if all turns out well. Prayers requested, Nerd Avengers. Well, we'll send some prayers and some vibes your way, man. And, yeah, it's a little miracle. You know what I mean? A little miracle. And definitely life-changing, life-creating. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be scary, for sure. It's going to be scary. But good things are scary, man. Metalingus says, watched the new video, blew my mind when the tingle starts petering. Super hyped to hopefully see Toby take on the X-Men. Yeah, did you like that one? That's cool, man. I'm glad. By the way, not to be that guy, but you know what you guys didn't enjoy? Is the fucking Andor video. What the fuck? I didn't even look at that video. I just posted it. And I know it's like, yeah, I mostly talk about Marvel and we're all excited about Doomsday, and maybe y'all don't want to hear me bitch and moan about Andor and explain with science why it isn't fucking Star Wars, but get the fuck out of here and go watch that video. The fuck? Nobody watching that video? Come on! Just give it a like. Go watch it. Listen to me bitch about Andor. Anyway. Jedi John says, 53 months. Appreciate y'all. Toby is screwed. Nerd Avengers for life. It does kind of seem like he's screwed. I think Toby's going to get some licks in, though. I watched it. No, I know a lot of the hardcore people watched it. It just didn't get great views at all, which maybe is to be expected considering the things I've been covering and the fact that nobody gives a fuck about Star Wars. And it is kind of interesting, though, because, like, I had literally a tweet about that thing going, like, off, right? But then an actual video, I guess that's an investment for people that were like, I don't really fucking care like that, though, Josh. Well, I wish you would have told me that before I spent all that time working on that video. That video's a fucking masterpiece. Anyway. 53. Oh, Toby is screwed. Yeah. I think Toby is probably screwed, but as I was saying before I got ADD as fuck, I think Toby's going to get some licks in, guys. I think Toby is going to... I mean, I think he's going to take out, maybe potentially take out an X-Men. I think that Toby is... I don't know, like, just the comic book fan in me, when I heard about this rumor, we're going to really fucking nerd out about this today for sure. But when I heard this, I was like, man, that's so cool. But I think Toby dog walks most of that team, to be honest with you. And, you know, if Logan does, if Wolverine really does get the kill on Toby, it better be earned, because I would say that even an older Spider-Man should, like, have basically zero problem with Wolverine, dude. Like, Wolverine is a brawler. He's savage and he's very durable and all that sort of stuff. But, like, he's a bad matchup for Peter. Like, he is legitimately a bad matchup for Spider-Man Peter Parker. I think Spider-Man would fuck him up, dude. And I hope Toby does get some damage, get some licks in, and goes down fighting. But we'll get into all that sort of stuff, man. We'll get into all that. Let's see here. Drewski says, if Toby dies, I'll walk out and go watch Supergirl. You son of a bitch! There were people in the Discord saying that they will walk out if Toby dies. Would you guys do that? Star Wars Oddball, welcome back to the Nerd Ventures. Would you guys walk out? It's like 7-on-1. Yeah, I know, Trev. I know that. That's why I made the thumbnail. But yeah. Like, what I mean, though, is, like, make it look like it needs to be 7-on-1. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. Yes, don't tell Toby. Don't touch my Toby. Dude, I think a lot of people are going to be pretty upset. A lot of people are probably going to be pretty upset about it. Yeah. What, dude, it's funny because, like, as I was thinking about it, and I had sort of had an evolution of thought as I was thinking about it yesterday, I actually edited a section out of the video yesterday before I posted it when Randon was finished with it, because I was like, I think Toby's gonna fucking die, basically. And the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, he probably gone. Even I, like, didn't want to admit it. I was like, no, it can't be. Loki's gonna save him. He's gonna go do multiversal Avenger stuff. He can't die. They can't take my Tobey. you know, and then fuck, but maybe that's why they have to. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's why they gotta do it. Maybe they gotta rip us right in the heart. I don't know. We'll talk about it. I've heard Andrew will fall in love with Scarlet. What the hell? Andor is way overhyped, especially season 2. You were spot on. Thoughts on the countdown clock actually being Loki monitoring the Doomsday situation? Yeah, I kind of like that. In a sense, maybe it is inevitable. So, yeah, that could be. And thank you for the love on the Andor stuff. Look, I joke. It's not that big of a deal. It's just, I really want everyone to know that I don't like Andor. And I think everybody fucking gets it. You know what I mean? So it's all good. Javis says, let me see here. Javis says, people who think Andor is the best thing ever, you can skip the first couple of episodes. Right? Yeah, totally. It is kind of funny, though. There is a hardcore group of us fans that really don't like Andor. I do get support every time I make this point, and I fucking stick my flag in the ground, and I'm like, fuck Andor. I get a lot of people that come out and are like, yeah, I agree. A lot of other people obviously do not, and that's fine. But there are dozens of us, okay? So just think about that, Dave. Motherfucking Dave. All right, Rossi says, if Lucasfilm wanted to hire you, would you do it? No, but I would definitely help with Warhammer. No. Fuck Star Wars, dog. You know what I mean? Oh, maybe Star Wars will put it together. Maybe Dave will make it all right. Whatever I got to say so that you don't jump down my throat. But it's cooked. But if they wanted, I would definitely help with Warhammer, man. I think, I'm getting a little nervous about Warhammer. And you know what, Adam, if you're in here, it's your fault, dude. It's your fault. A lot of people have been writing articles about the Henry Cavill Warhammer show being delayed, and Adam is making sure that I see all of those articles. He's posting them all, and he's starting to panic himself, and he's like, "Oh no, what if it falls apart?" So I'm starting to get a little nervous, but yeah. The real Darboyd says, just because one Toby might die doesn't mean all Tobys will die. Just saying. Okay, that's actually so. But here's the thing about that, right? So look, that's a great point. The point was, look, I'll read this question again, so everybody just tab in, just open up your ear hole for a goddamn second. Just because one Toby might die doesn't mean all Tobys will die. Just saying, says the real Darboyd. Okay, and appreciate the 5 in the super chat. Here's the thing. I thought about this, and I'm like, that feels like something you can't have both ways. Meaning, you can't have the love, the association, the appreciation, the nostalgia for Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and you can't have it feel like a gut punch, and then just have 3 more lying in wait. You actually can't. So, like, although I get what you're saying, you're really just saying they don't have to kill Tobey, is basically what you're saying. Because I think it would actually potentially be worse if they kill him and then they're like, yeah, but we got 2 more at the TVA. Let's thaw them out. Like, no. Don't love that. Don't love that. I will, however, in a little bit discuss a way that it could work where maybe, because look, dude, there's a lot to get into with this, including like motherfuckers like James Mack leading us astray and some of the leaks and things of that nature, and we'll get into all of that, right? But there were some leaks, because I started to look back to some leaks, trying to find examples in which the Sentinels were working with the X-Men. And in fact, maybe some of you can actually help me out here. There was a leak in the past couple of months, and I remember reading it, and it discussed the X-Men and the Sentinels coming in and destroying the Fantastic Four universe. And so basically, like, one of the things Gary said yesterday was that the Sentinels are going to be working with the X-Men, not against them. And that's kind of interesting. And it made me think of that plot leak where it did kind of have that in it. And at first I kind of discounted that. But now I'm thinking, wow, that could actually be what it is, right? But I believe that plot leak also says that Toby at the beginning of the movie it is ripped into the multiverse. Like we don't actually see him maybe die. He is instead, like, as the incursion is happening and everything's being destroyed, he's like ripped into the space of whatever, right? And so in that sense, maybe then he does get saved, and maybe Toby gets him or some shit, or Loki gets him. But yeah. I just think this is an interesting point here. It's like, no, I don't actually think you can have it both ways. Like, it would be very difficult for them to balance the nostalgia and the care and the feeling and the emotional connection to these characters, and then them just being replaced. Like, there's many versions of them. And also, it seems like it's the case that we're kind of at the end of time, that like there are very few universes left, and I think that's potentially a reason as to why the incursions are different from what they were maybe in Multiverse of Madness. But yeah, that's a good point. That's a good thing to clarify there, so thank you for that question. Appreciate it. Okay, Lucasfilm is your namesake, though. Your Uncle George needs you. Brother, I don't even think he would come back at this point. You know what I mean? I think that, yeah. We're good, and it's okay. I'll change my name to, like, fucking James Workshop. Josh James Workshop or something, man. You know what I mean? Appreciate you, though. Humble Boy 777 says, you smell good today. You know, that's funny. I was just going to tell you, you smell different when you're awake. Appreciate it. Salient Productions says, fucking love this community, Big Papa. Damn, I'll bust peanuts if Cyclops uses his optic blast to maneuver around the scene. You know what would be kind of interesting? And I really appreciate the 10, man. Thank you for the love. I'm kind of imagining as you were saying that, and maybe it's just the way my mind works, but I kind of imagine as you were saying that, what if Cyclops became something like a quadriplegic, but he was using the I-beam to like move around, so his limbs and stuff would just kind of like flap in the wind, almost like a garage sale kind of, you know, those dancing guys or whatever, but he would just use the blast to like get around to it. All right, I'm terrible, sorry. How do I get out of this paragraph? How do I navigate from here? Thanks for the 10, man. OMGC89 with the 10 spot says, question, Josh, if we see the X-Men destroying Toby's universe, doesn't this set them up to be villainous and non-empathetic to the viewer, since we love Toby do much? What? Doesn't Kevin want us to like them? Yeah, that's kind of an interesting point, too. I actually really like that, bro. I really like that. Wow. You guys actually could bring in some insightful questions. I wasn't prepared for that. You know, it's too cold. But yeah, no, let me address this. So OMGC89 says, question, Josh, if we see the X-Men destroying Toby's universe, doesn't this set them up to be villainous and non-empathetic to the viewer? Since we love Toby so much, doesn't Kevin want us to like them? This is a great question. I was thinking about this too, and I'll probably yap a little bit more about it later, but it does kind of seem like the X-Men are being set up as an antagonistic force in this movie. You know, one of the things, I mean, I love this. I just fucking love it, man. I love it. And it is interesting, though, because what I can't figure out, and this kind of gets to the core of your question here, is will they be presented as characters that are doing this despite, like, not wanting to do this? Like, are they cold-blooded, calculated killers coming into Toby's universe and just cleaning up shop? Or is Logan stabbing him in and saying, like, I'm sorry about this, but I have to save my world or something? Because, you know, one of the things that was interesting in Hickman's books that led into the Secret Wars was watching the heroes and the villains make difficult decisions. And man, there's great moments, there's bad moments. You know, it sort of starts with Steve Rogers trying to tell everybody almost immediately that they cannot use the incursions and the destruction of the multiverse as a justification to build weapons that destroy worlds. And T'Challa turns his back on Cap, and they actually erase his memory and teleport him out. But you even see the heroes and some of the villains struggle with this as well. I mean, there's this one issue. It's like one of my favorite issues in the whole run where I think this is actually after they do destroy a world or after a world gets destroyed and they realize they have to like do it again. And they basically all just realize they can't. And they come to this conclusion of like, nah, we literally can't do this. And so the issue is actually them all saying goodbye. And there's a countdown in that issue too, because they have an 8-hour window for these things and all that, right? And so in that issue, it's revealed at the end because they just let the countdown happen. And then at the end of it, you realize, oh, something must have happened. And what happened was Namor had gotten with the villains, and he starts going out there and doing things that the heroes are unwilling to do, meaning mostly destroy other universes or destroy other Earths. So watching the characters sort of grapple with the stakes and the morality of entire universes being wiped out, and, you know, there's like a utilitarian argument for destroying worlds to save universes, but eventually that all goes away too. I don't know, man. I mean, it's kind of interesting. I think what they'll probably do is present the X-Men as villainous, but then ultimately explain that they were sort of pushed in that direction by Victor Von Doom himself, right? Like that's kind of what I think is happening. Is I believe Victor may well be revealed to be the person that was convincing the X-Men to destroy these other worlds. And it might just be revealed that he was basically playing everybody, right? So it's a good question, though. I don't know. I mean, how would you guys feel about that? Are you going to hate the X-Men if they're presented as villainous and they start killing all these universes? I mean, they killed Toby. It's gonna hurt. You know what I mean? It's gonna hurt. I don't know. It's a good question. Nick P says, how many people die for good in Doomsday and Secret Wars? I mean, I don't know. When you're saying for good, I don't know how to answer that. I think a lot of people will die in Doomsday. Like, basically everybody will die in Doomsday, but then they'll be brought back to life on Battleworld. That's what I think, anyway. How many of those people survive into the reboot? I'm not really sure. I think you'll get some recasting. I don't know that anybody that dies in Secret Wars will have a permanent death, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of seems like if people die permanently, I almost feel like they have to die in Doomsday. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Mall trailer tomorrow? Hell yeah, dude. I'm excited for it. Doom is manipulating the incursions from the Library of Worlds to be the first time the X-Men even counter an incursion. They won't be villainous. They're just reacting to save their world. I mean, I don't view it that way. But maybe. All right, let's see here. Big Dog says, I was thinking about how you said Endgame will be more meaningful after this. Will Reed pull Tony from Endgame into Secret Wars to help defeat Doctor Doom? I think something like that's going to happen, yeah. I don't know exactly how, but I believe that something like that will happen, yeah. VTJB Production says, remember this rumor from 2005's Fantastic Four universe Erase exploding? What if they're from Toby's universe too in that scene? That's a good question too. You know, it's like, okay, so let's assume this scene is true and it's one of the things they want to have happen in the film. Well, are they going to have other universes destroyed? Will it be revealed that the X-Men universe was taking out many different universes? Are they going to destroy 838? Are they going to destroy that 2005 Fantastic Four universe? Yeah, these are good questions. I'm not sure. And how much time does the film have to show things like that, right? By the X-Men being the team in the universe that is out there destroying these worlds, it allows them access to that side of the narrative. If the X-Men universe is just reacting in the film, that can still work and it can still be cool, but it doesn't give us access to like maybe what had happened leading up to that, maybe how many other universes were destroyed, etc., etc. So yeah, I don't know. Fish Like Fish Productions, appreciate the 10 spot, says, what if Loki freezes Toby's time, projects himself to Toby, and then reassures him that this is not the end, but lets his universe collapse into the void, which will become Battleworld in Secret Wars? Yeah. So that's the big question, man, is like, will Toby be saved? Maybe by the TVA, maybe by Loki? Or will he not be saved? I don't know. I mean, I guess what I would say is we could have him saved and pop back up for sure. I don't know. I just personally am starting to feel like he probably just dies early. And if he does come back, like way later, it'll be like a surprise and it'll be like a feel-good moment. But I don't want like a Chewbacca in Rise of Skywalker, dude. Like, what a ridiculous-ass thing they put in Rise of Skywalker, and then he's dead, but he's like, oh, he's not really dead. You know, it's like, that kind of sucks ass, man. So, Logan says, they better not kill Toby! But what if they do, dude? And what if it's, like, brutal? You know what I mean? Like, what if it's, like, really brutal? Oh, no. Optic Tornado. After James Marsden, who do you want to see play Cyclops or Wolverine? I'm honestly banking on Scott Eastwood or Matt Wood. I'm really not good with actors at all, right? So I couldn't really tell you. But I've seen a lot of these choices done with like fan casting and AI and shit like that. There's some people out there that I think would be good for sure. I'm not good with the actors. You know, I'm not good with the actors. Toby dies by Heather's hand, Doom's therapist. My God. I mean, talk about a fucking tragedy. That would be terrible. Soul Jacker says, maybe we get evil Hydra Cap as the Steve sense in the ice when Endgame goes back to be with Peggy, comes out evil or jealous or something. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting thought. It's kind of an interesting idea. Let's see here. Some people said I missed some super chats. I don't think I did. What if Toby gets the symbiote after Wolverine kills him? Ooh. I like that, actually. So Toby's sitting there, dead. Loki comes out of the portal with the symbiote in a vial and like pours it on him. The symbiote goes over Toby's body and starts healing him. And then Loki takes him into the TVA. Ooh, girl. I like that, man. That'd be good. All right. I think I caught up on the super chats. I think I got everybody's super chat. Yes? Everybody's good? Everybody's satisfied? Let me just double check the space I have on here. Let me delete a couple of videos, and then I will start to really get into the yapping. I haven't even really started to yap yet. Boom, boom, there. Boom, boom, there. Tough luck. Appreciate you, brother, with the 10 spot, man. Thank you. You really should give each Wonder Man, assuming it's really strong, and Vision Quest a fair chance, Josh. Your likely refusal to do that makes you sort of like the people versus George Lucas guys who hated on the PT. Huh? Okay. Okay. Oh, all right, buddy. Okay. Thank you for the 10. Look, Wonder Man's coming out. I've heard some decent things. People are saying that Wonder Man is better than they expected, which is funny because that's actually one of the predictions I had for the show. Was like, I think this will end up being, like people will say, better than I expected. You know what I mean? And that'll be a win. And I think that would be a win for them, frankly. So I understand what you're saying. I think I understand what you are getting at. Wonder Man just holds no interest to me. And I've also heard that this thing doesn't really connect to the wider MCU, although they might like put a few things in there that connect it or whatever. But I'm good, man. Like, I'm good, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, dog. I'm good on that shit, okay? And even Vision Quest. Like, Vision Quest is a maybe for me. Maybe. Because I could see a way that actually connects to some shit and is, like, really meaningful and feels good. But, like, man, I'm hoping that Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is much better. I'm excited for, X-Men 97 Season 2. But dude, Wonder Man, brother, why do I feel like, this comparison to the people that said George graped my childhood? I'm not out here saying Kevin Feige graped my childhood by making the Wonder Man show. Okay, I am merely suggesting to you that I know probably what to expect from the Wonder Man show. Not really my thing. Not really what I want out of my superhero projects. So I'm good on that. I also think we'll have a better time in the streams and in the tower if I don't watch Wonder Man. If I watch Wonder Man and I get irritated by it, then I'm going to be even more of a butthole than I normally am. Holy shit. But appreciate the 10. Thank you. C-Dub says, one of the hosts of Film Threat has seen all of Wonder Man. He's very reluctantly admitted it was really good and feels more like the MCU movies compared to any of the previous Disney Plus shows. What the? I mean, thank you, C-Dub. I appreciate that. I think you're probably talking to about Chris Gore. And yes, I think he said that. Okay, what are you trying to do? Make me feel bad? What are you trying to do over there? John Alexer says, Toby doesn't die. But when his universe is destroyed, he becomes Captain Universe. This is how he's able to fight Doom. Don't get me too excited, John. I can only get so erect, okay? Holy. You might have a better time out with it. We would enjoy the F out of your crash out. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, my God. Look, I'll tell you this. I look forward to the day when Marvel creates projects that I am excited about and they're on Disney Plus and they have people out there that are like, this is way better than I expected, and it's not Trevor Slatery and all this shit, dog. You know what I mean? Like, I look forward to that day. You know what I mean? Like, I think I saw that, Dirty. I think I saw that. Yeah. Like if we were doing like an X-Men Academy show, even if it was a little bit like on the weaker side of things, I'd probably like get down, dude. You know? But like, we're talking about the Wonder Man show, and look, I know it's very self-aware, and it's talking about like 37 comic book movies, and it's, but guys, I'm sorry, just miss me with all that shit, dog. Like, I'm good. What? You didn't hear all of that incredible banter? Fuck you, chat. You know what I mean? Dr. Cool 66, is it just me or does Josh sound more intelligent? Get the fuck out of here! Fuck out of here! Josh, come on, just imagine for 10 seconds Toby Captain Universe versus Doctor Doom finale for Doomsday. Hell yeah, dog. Sounds incredible. I would love it. All right, anyways, Jesus. Let's talk about Toby. Can we talk about Toby now? Someone said Dana Braille. That's not funny. And that would not be Braille. It would be I guess it would be Braille. But I thought Braille was when you didn't see. You guys got me fucked up today. Holy shit. Tough Luck says, I mean, Josh, it's not that giving Wonder Man a fair shot because it's different, bold, risky, and not the MCU makes you like those guys that hated Star Wars prequels for being different. You guys sound like my wife right now. Like, what is this? What is this? Is this fucking debate class? I'm on trial again? Holy shit! I wish I needed Braille with how much this chat's pissing me off. Rossi says, yeah, I heard you love Andor more than Warhammer. Jesus Christ! Matt Sparrow says, do we know who bought Warner Brothers yet? No, we don't know who bought Warner Brothers. It's probably going to be Netflix. Let me take a couple deep breaths here. Hang on. Okay. Now everybody be on their best fucking behavior because I'm about to make some clips of baby. All right, let's talk about Toby. Man, is he gonna fucking die, dude? What the fuck? We need to talk about this. We need to explain. I want to tell you the story of how this all happened. I want to explain why it's all John Campia's fault. And then we just need to get into it. There's a lot to be said here. So basically, this all started, I believe it was on Monday or Tuesday when John Campia, who just won't shut up about all the cool things that are in Avengers Doomsday, kind of somewhat explicitly, was talking about how the opening scene for the movie could legitimately be the most exciting opening sequence in the history of the superhero genre. And that is cool, man. And I'm not going to lie. I was like, yo, let's go, John. Fuck yeah. Like, it is cool that John's so excited about it, man. He seems genuinely really hyped up about the movie. And so is Robert, right? But, of course, they're not going to tell us what it actually is, right? They're just talking about the stuff that they know. And, you know, saying some things here and there. Kicks through the door. It's a gut punch. Everybody's going to lose their mind. Might be the greatest sequence, you know, in the opening in the history. Which, by the way, what do you guys think is the best opening sequence in the superhero movie genre? I do think it's still probably X2. You know, John talked about how maybe Batman v Superman is up there. I don't agree, although I think that's a pretty strong opening, man. I don't know, dude. There's something. I was watching the Endgame opening, the scene with the arrows. Where Hawkeye's family disappears. It's pretty harrowing, dude. I was like, that's a really, really good scene. But it's probably X2, dude. That shit is awesome. Dark Knight. Is that the opening sequence with the cops and everything? Oh, with the Joker. Wow, you're right. The Dark Knight, John, with the Joker where they're all killing. That's probably it. That's probably the one. All right. Anyway, so John's talking about this stuff, and dude, the internet's going nuts. I think that there's like people are so hungry for any little crumb or morsel of Doomsday, really and truly. It's probably the thing that's, I don't know, it's the most hyped up thing right now, maybe in fandom. It certainly creates a huge wave of motion on social media every single time one of these things happens. So anyway, John's saying that sort of stuff, and all of us are sitting back like, what could it be? What could it be? Now, here's the thing. There already were rumors that it was going to be Tobey's universe. I actually kind of talked about that on stream a little bit here and a little bit there. I just was like a little, you know, there's some stuff I can say, there's some stuff I can't say. But I think I did speak to this a little bit. You guys remember, right? We talked about this as a possible opening sequence. So then Gary from Nerd Erotic, and I don't remember I don't know the context. Like maybe he was out on a live stream in his ass. I saw the clip. But Gary basically says what the scene is. And Gary describes it as it's in Tobey Maguire Spider-Man universe. I think he says world. And the Fox X-Men come in there and they fight against Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Doc Ock, which is really interesting. And they lose and the X-Men destroy Tobey Maguire's universe. Now, Gary says that Toby dies. Okay, and we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about that whole thing. But, dude, so that is basically what happened was John starts teasing this thing. it makes a big wave. I would imagine Gary gets asked about it or whatever. He discusses it. He talks about it with some really interesting details. And so that's kind of where we're at, guys. All right. And so, wow. I mean, so much to unpack here. On the one hand, this absolutely does sound like an incredible scene. And if it were just, you know, the X-Men fighting against Tobey, Spider-Man, and Doc Ock, that visually would probably look absolutely incredible. You know, Doc Ock is a really cool looking villain, man. You know, I don't necessarily love the villain, but I think there's a reason that he's so iconic and useful in Spider-Man 2 and then also in Spider-Man No Way Home. Looks really cool. Will be really cool. I also can't shake this feeling that it's likely Alfred Molina and that exact variant that met Toby in Spider-Man No Way Home, because they are there. He kind of turns good or whatever and ends up helping them out at the end, and they have a little bit of a reconciliation at the Statue of Liberty fight. And so I think that the context that could work in this scene, right, is that Toby, he's there with his family. Something happens, the spider sense goes off, Doc Ock shows up, and Doc Ock, like, the reason Doc Ock would be there is that you can kind of say, okay, if those two guys had an experience in the multiverse, and then they show back up in their home universe, which I guess is weird, because wouldn't Doc Ock be dead? I guess he maybe wouldn't then be dead. Yeah, that's kind of strange. But maybe that's what it is, and it'll connect to that character, right? And Doc Ock might be the one to even realize what's going on, you know, with the incursions or the universe ending and all that sort of stuff, okay? Now, the other thing that is being associated with this, and I want to be clear here, to my knowledge, Gary does not talk about this at all, but there were also some rumors that started popping up over the past couple of weeks about Wolverine fighting Spider-Man, okay? And the timing of these things, I always like to point this out to you guys. I think the timing of these things matter. And when you see something like that happening, as this other thing is sort of percolating in the background, and then it finally is revealed, it's just like, okay, well, that's probably associated. We don't know for sure, but it's probably associated. So with everybody talking about Hugh Jackman and Toby, it does kind of seem like that could be an aspect to that X-Men fight. And then the thing that really started fucking me up yesterday was I was thinking back to Chris Claremont, because Chris Claremont has spoken recently about Doomsday, but he talked a lot about Doomsday last year. And in one of the Comic-Con appearances that kind of went viral, one of the things Chris Claremont says is that Hugh Jackman's Wolverine kills somebody really important. Okay. And it's hard to not look at how all of this is tying together. And the fact that Claremont would say Wolverine kills somebody really important means that Claremont was told by somebody, likely at Marvel, because yes, he's super associated. He's still working at Marvel. He has all these connections at Marvel. He's like one of the godfathers of X-Men, really. So Claremont likely heard this from a person that was just kind of rattling off the biggest, craziest things, and then Claremont's repeating those biggest and craziest things to the Comic-Con audience. So it's like, oh my fucking God. Wolverine is probably going to kill our boy. Now, I hope that nobody comes out to confirm this, because it might not be true. You know, there's maybe even other versions of this that they shot. There's other characters that could die in this sequence. And again, like, I don't even think it makes sense for Toby to necessarily go down to Wolverine alone. But Logan is very good at killing people. He's the best at what he does, and what he does is kill people, right? So, yeah, kind of wild, kind of interesting. And so that's kind of where I'm at. That's why I believe personally that, yeah, probably gonna see Tobey Maguire Spider-Man get killed off in the early part of the movie. Now, again, going back to the older rumors, there were rumors that suggested that Tobey Maguire's universe was going to be destroyed, but Toby himself would not die. And some of these leaks talked about maybe a portal opening up, either the TVA or Doctor Doom or somebody maybe saving Toby. And as I was talking about earlier on in the stream, there was a moment where there was a leak that said that after the incursion happens and that universe is destroyed, Toby is like ripped into space. That's the way it was described. Is like he's ripped into the void of space. So maybe he arrives in the void and then eventually gets saved by the TVA later on in the movie. But I don't know. I guess we have to ask ourselves the question. And I think with anything like this, there's always a lot of course, there's going to be a lot of fan expectation and speculation, right? For me, I sit here as a fan and I'm like, okay, but I actually want Toby to be involved. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just that I want Toby in the film. I want Toby to be involved. And there's a lot of promise of, like, Toby having a big role in Secret Wars. And there was always this rumor that RDJ Iron Man, Hugh Jackman Wolverine, and Tobey Maguire were going to be the leads of Secret Wars, or at least a part of Secret Wars, right? And it's like, okay, that's awesome, man. Well, I'm excited for that. But I was kind of like married to this idea that Toby would be the replacement for Tom Holland's Spider-Man in Doomsday and would be working in the Multiversal Avengers and potentially working alongside Hugh Jackman's Wolverine as well. It's kind of weird if we go from a place where Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man gets killed by Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and then we go to a place where they're also going to play a big role in Secret Wars. What does that mean? Because if they're just on Battleworld, then they might not even remember fighting each other in Doomsday. They might just remember always being a part of Battleworld. Or is this going to work separate from the comic book version where people on Battleworld actually do remember their past lives? I don't know about that, right? So the reason this question is so important is because I think there's a fear that we might be looking at a multiverse of madness type of scenario. Okay? Meaning, we have all these ideas about what the Illuminati will be, how they'll be utilized in the film, and Reed Richards and Black Bolt, and maybe an evil Iron Man, and Captain Carter, and there's a Charles Xavier, and we have all these ideas of what it could be. And if we really have in our mind that Toby is going to be a big part of this movie, Loki's going to save him in Act 1, he's going to be one of the leads at the end of the film, and he's going to be a part of the Multiversal Avengers. If we are convinced that that's what it is, and then he dead ass gets fridged, scene 1, and we never see him again, that would, I think, be a little bit of a disappointment. Similarly, I think the same thing of Cyclops. Like, that X-Men trailer and James Marsden, it's just a little tease, but it's so damn exciting. It's so cool. And even in that moment, there were people saying, well, you guys are killing me, dude. This is why I don't look at chat. Like, I'm definitely going to look at what Alex is saying, but you're not helping the fucking segment by just goddamn chat, and you just won't stop talking about the goddamn chat. Holy shit! We're gonna look at it. I always look at the chat at the end of the segment. As I was saying, we might have to accept the fact that both Cyclops and Tobey Maguire, and maybe a lot of characters in this movie, might just be fodder. They might just die. Hey, what? Oh, I just saw something. Alex Perez just said something really interesting on Twitter about this whole situation. I'm going to find it on my own. It's nothing to do with you, chat. Fuck out of here, chat. All right, where's this at? Where's this at? Tag me in it. Somebody, you didn't even tag me in it? You're blasting my ass cheeks in this chat, and you won't even fucking... Did I say we're taking tomorrow and Friday off? I think that's what I said. I'm pretty sure, looking back at it all, that we're taking tomorrow off. What? Oh, he doesn't die? Will not die in Doomsday. Oh, wow. Okay, shit. I wonder who that's in response to or whatever. That's awesome, though. That's good. Okay, so thank God. Okay. So... how do you feel, chat? How do you feel? Do you feel good? Are you feeling a little bit better? Because Alex said that Toby won't die? Can you calm down a little bit? Jesus. So here's the thing. Alex has gotten stuff wrong before, okay? So I just want you to understand that what's happening right now might well be Alex making you feel good in a moment, only to have you be incredibly let down because he's going to get spine ripped and die. And yeah, he'll be in Secret Wars, but it'll be his skull and his spine set upon somebody's armor. Yeah. Yeah, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? Guys, I'm very sorry, but it's likely Toby will die for the exact same reason chat is blowing up about it. Yeah, I agree, actually. I agree. Okay. So, I'm excited to hear that Toby's not going to die. I wonder, though, I mean, first of all, too, like, in all seriousness, it's probably worth taking that with a grain of salt because, like, I believe Alex, and I believe that he believes that, okay? But Gary has good sources, too, man. You know what I mean? And, again, that Chris Claremont stuff is out there. I don't know. But maybe this just means, because this is kind of the original way that I thought it would go, is if the incursion happens at the beginning of the film and Toby fails to save his universe and the people that he loves, like, that's already enough of a gut punch, right? Alex said Toby doesn't fight the X-Men. So here's the thing. I just looked at all the things he said, and this motherfucker is being very vague, as he usually is. So he's not specifically saying anything. Okay, like he quote tweets somebody and says people will shed tears talking about the opening. He's asked if it is true that Toby and Doc Ock fight the X-Men, and he says no, but he doesn't clarify what part of it's not true or anything like that. And if Alex isn't willing to come out and say what it is, I will take into consideration all the vagary, but you can't make a blanketed statement that he is saying these things when he is not saying these things. Fuck, man. It's too cold in here for you guys to be acting like this. We need to do better. Anyway, I'm pretty sure Toby is going to get obliterated. His cheeks will get clapped. And now I'm going to hit people up at Marvel to make sure that it happens. You have all triggered me to the point that I need Tobey Maguire to get graphically skull fucked by Wolverine. That's right. I said it. You have pushed me to this limit, and I need it. R rating, graphic violence. Fuck you, Toby. What are you gonna do with that bad bag anyways? Bitch ass Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Look, you did this, chat. You did this. All right, now taking it back. Let's talk about something else. So one of the other things that Gary said about this that I thought was pretty interesting, and I can't wait till Alex vague tweets as I'm doing my fucking segment so that my chat loses their mind. Thanks a lot, Alex. Really appreciate it. One of the other things that Gary said was that the Sentinels, pay attention, chat, the Sentinels are actually not going to be fighting against the X-Men, but instead will be fighting with the X-Men. Now, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of interesting to me, okay? I went back, by the way, and I looked at all of the reports and the articles and the scoops of the people that were saying that the Sentinels were controlled by Doctor Doom. And it was all like James Mack, basically. And so that kind of sucks. And I do kind of think, as I continue to believe that some of those guys led us astray with a lot of the fake leaks and all that, kind of sucks. But I think that if that ends up being not true at all, right? Like if Doom does not control the Sentinels at all, then damn, dude, those leakers really led us astray. However, there's actually a way that it could still work, right? Because I was thinking about like this. I'm fairly confident that the Sentinels will work with the X-Men at some points in the movie, but it's still possible that when Doctor Doom goes into that universe and fights them, that he like could take control of them with the runes and the shit like that and have them actually turn against the X-Men. But this is kind of wild because if that X-Men universe is a utopia, right? Then maybe they've already gone through a situation where they do have the Sentinels, and yet the Sentinels are being reserved for some purpose, right? Like almost like stockpiling weapons just in case, or some kind of mutually assured destruction kind of a thing or whatever. But it would be wild to see the X-Men actually using the Sentinels. Like, what if that's what it is? What if Toby's universe is actually assaulted not just by the X-Men themselves, but by the Sentinels? That would be fucking wild. And I don't know, that would look really cool on screen. It would be awesome to see Toby like actually fighting against a Sentinel and like maybe taking a Sentinel down. I think that would be pretty cool. And again, there was a leak that discussed the Sentinels coming in to destroy the Fantastic Four universe. And so I'm trying to like track down that leak too, because again, there was just so much of like the fake scoopers and these guys like James Mackweld and Majestic that I think really truly did throw us off the scent. So yeah, fascinating stuff, man. It's crazy. It's very, very interesting. And again, even with the Alex stuff, I still think there's a chance that Toby dies, man. I definitely think there's a chance that Toby dies. I definitely think the beginning of the film is going to be X-Men fighting against Toby. Yeah, I guess it technically could be something else, but I don't know. This idea, I feel like maybe even Alex and some of these other people are trying to just discredit Gary because Gary is Gary. Gary has gotten things wrong, though, to be fair. There were some things that even I followed him, and I was like, oh, he's reporting this, but this didn't actually manifest. So maybe he is wrong. I don't know. I almost, I feel as though there's a way that they could do it where it's still tragic, and we still feel all this loss for Toby. If he doesn't die in the film, there's a big chance that maybe he has an actual story, which would be cool. And there's even this thing, like, I was thinking, okay, so let's say Toby, his universe is destroyed, and it's the X-Men universe that destroys his universe. If he gets saved, and he ends up with the TVA, or he even ends up in 616, maybe he, like, comes to seek Peter 1 or something like that, then Doom could even get Toby to work for him. Because I keep thinking, like, if he is truly promising, like Victor Von Doom, right? If he's truly promising people that that he could maybe bring their universe back, well, number one, that only really works if, like, obviously their universe is gone and it was destroyed, and that would set Toby up to be in that position, right? And then maybe he's offered like a monkey paw, kind of a deal. And then he works with Doctor Doom. That would be absolutely fascinating. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think, chat? My Toby. I want to know what the Doomsday popcorn bucket is going to be. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe just a big old Doctor Doom face. Toby dies 100%. If Toby makes the Secret Wars, do you think he'll keep his memory? Yeah, so that's kind of the thing. I'm not sure. I believe, and I don't know, right? But I think most of the characters that will exist on Battleworld will not have their memory, right? I think it would be so weird if they all remembered their old universe. I guess there's a way they could, but like even the aesthetic of it being like a 1602 or like a medieval kind of thing, I don't know that that makes sense if everybody remembers their old universe. Wouldn't they all be like, why are we wearing this? You know what I mean? So I believe they probably won't. I think maybe, because I still think Sadie's ink is Jean Grey, right? And I think because I think Sadie will be in Secret Wars, as the trade said, she might be running around with Tom Holland, unlocking people's memories of what was their past life. And so maybe like they have to go find Tobey Maguire Spider-Man on Battleworld and convince him or allow Jean Grey to show him who he really was or whatever. Yeah, something like that would be cool. Toby, why can't they kill fucking Birdman, Sam Wilson? That's funny. Yeah, that is funny. They killed Loki in the beginning of Infinity War. Someone will probably die in the opening. Yeah. Some people think it could be an X-Man. One of the X-Men dies. Yeah. Why can't she be Rachel Summers? Why Jean? Well, because if she is Jean, which I think she is, then she's the Jean for the new X-Men reboot. And they don't want to just jump to Rachel Summers. They're going to do the core team again. That's why. Howard the Duck will die? What? What you say? All right, let me see here. I missed some soupies, I think. The Exodus says X-Men show up in Spider-Man 2 with Logan. He kills Peter before he can stop Otto's Tritrillion son, and that kills his world. Peter survives being stabbed like he did in No Way Home. Everyone's happy. Yo, that's actually a brilliant theory. I'm going to steal that. So, guys, I just came up with this off the top of the rip. So what if it's like a time heisty thing? Okay, I can't believe how brilliant I am. What if it's a time heisty thing, and the X-Men don't just go into Toby's universe, but they go into the universe at that time, and they stop something that would have destroyed... They stop something from being stopped that would destroy the entire universe. Wow. That would be crazy. I've also been wondering, who's your favorite X-Men? First of all, fuck you, Chris. I'd probably at this point have to say Gambit, man. They call me to Gambit. Killing Toby would certainly raise and set the stakes for the movie. They needed to be bold. You know, I don't know. Yesterday there was a large part of the day where I was like, nah, they won't kill Toby. Like, that would be such a waste, right? Like, it would suck to not have him in the film or whatever. But, I don't know. I still can't get past what Gary said, and I also think it's interesting if you think about the Chris Claremont thing. Look, Alex saying what he said is obviously a big deal. If you had to ask me, like, if I were to put money on it now, I'd probably say he doesn't die just because of like the confidence that Alex seems to have about that, but I even still wouldn't be sure, right? Like, I'd put money on it and I still wouldn't feel 100% right about it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Kill Gambit in the cold open? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of Gambit in this movie. Maybe I'm just reading a little too far into how excited Channing was, because he talked a lot about it, and there's a lot of like shots of him on, like, with the crew, but it seems like he's been training a lot and whatnot. So I don't know. I think Gambit's gonna have a fair amount of play in this film. What are the predictive markets saying? I wish I knew so that I could manipulate them and make anon accounts and open positions and then create narratives with my content that would pay off the bet. Why can't I do that? There's plenty of characters to raise the stakes. Not Toby! I'm sorry, I don't care how serious they're trying to be. Toby has to be the one. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm 60-40 on it now just because Alex said that. So if Wolverine doesn't kill Toby, who's the important person he kills? Toby's the MVP of Doomsday? Toby ain't dying first scene. Feige not dumb. Anchor bean? Hey, get that anchor bean out of my face. I want Black Cat in the new Spider-Man trilogy. Yeah, that would be good. That's why you just gotta bow out at this point. These motherfuckers at the top, really at the top with these markets and apps and shit. Yeah, for sure. Anthony Mackie going down. What? Wolverine gonna kill Miss Marvel? She ain't important, dog. Why would killing Toby make Feige dumb? LOL. Adam, don't ask questions like that. You're right, and it's a great point, but you're just making me think the thing that I just let go of, and I'm trying to move on. But you know what I mean? I'm trying to have a good stream here. Jesus. Whole economy based on gambling now? Yikes. Yeah, that's basically what it is, so I'm gonna get mine. It is what it is. We're all scrambling. Late stage capitalism. Sorry. Can Magneto control vibranium? That's an interesting question. I want to say this was a thing explored at one point in comics, but I don't really remember what happened. Opening scene is Professor X and Magneto dying. Adam over Josh. He almost beat me in Warhammer last time. Adam, when are we going to play Warhammer again? Get your scramble or bow out and yep. Did you see the Marvel Rivals drama, Josh? I did not. What's the Marvel Rivals drama? Quit bailing on you? Yeah, sorry, man. Life be bailing on me. You know what I mean? Ask Marvel to off Toby with Heather instead. God damn it. Ibsy says, what if the X-Men destroy the Andor universe? Oh, hell yeah. Like, that one guy's giving like that dramatic speech, like, Andor, I do all this for a sunrise I'll never see, and blah, blah, blah. And then Toby's just like, or Hugh's like, he's like, it's not fucking Star Wars, bub. Fuck you. Hell yeah. And then we got Cyclops, the paraplegic Cyclops is like flipping around in the back. Hell yeah. All right, enough of that segment. Fucking Alex Perez trying to ruin my first segment of the day. I made a funny meme thumbnail where Toby's on the white couch with all the X-Men surrounding him. Come on, man. Fucking up my Wednesday, Alex. Thanks a lot, bud. All right, anyways. Freaking guys. Let's talk about something else we're really excited about, and that'd be James Gunn's DCU. So, James Gunn and the DCU are in the news once again. Two major updates, and they're both us. So, we're going to talk about them. We're going to get excited. Y'all excited for the DCU? Let me ask you guys a question. Real talk here. What is the hype level for the DCU out of 10? Just be honest. What is the hype level? On a scale from 0 to 10, you know, you got your Supergirls, your Clayface, you got your Man of Tomorrow. Where's the hype level at? A 6? You know, it's probably fair. A 20 out of 10? Who's that guy? That's James Gunn's sock puppet account. Gotta be. 0, 5, 5, 3.5. I just want Toby back. 6, -6, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, over 9,000. 10 after Superman. It's like a 7 now. Fair. Yeah, I think that's fair, bud. Yeah, so a lot of mixed opinions out there. I mean, frankly, it just really hasn't done a good job of keeping momentum or getting people really excited. And yeah, I think the Supergirl trailer, unfortunately, was a big part of that. I think Lantern's getting delayed and then us only seeing 10 seconds. An incredible 10 seconds. Best 10 seconds in the DCU for that little HBO teaser thing, but it's delayed and we don't know shit about it. Clayface, okay. And then, of course, Man of Tomorrow. And let's start with the Man of Tomorrow stuff, then we'll talk about the Batman stuff. Okay, so Man of Tomorrow... Really interesting rumor out there. I'm just going to pull up a Murphy's Multiverse article that discusses the new rumor, and then I'll explain why I'm so excited about it. Hang on. Internet not working. I think it's too cold for the internet browser to even be working. This is unbelievable. Hang on. It's a great day at the office. Yeah, love being here. It's great. It's a great day. We'll try to refresh it one more time. Okay, I got it. Okay. Here we go. Man of Tomorrow reportedly set to feature second formidable villain. In November, insider pooper scooper, worst person that we talk about on the channel, but is accurate, Daniel Rickman reported that DC Studios has begun searching for an actress in her 20s to play a major role in Man of Tomorrow. What? Following the initial report, Nexus Point News followed up with additional information that had fans theorizing that the character was Wonder Woman. Do you remember this, guys? This happened a couple months ago. Are you paying attention, chat? Do you remember? Okay, so you remember, yes, we were excited. We thought maybe Wonder Woman was going on. And actually, there was a lot of speculation that, wow, maybe we would get Wonder Woman because it seems like Batman's all wrapped up with the Matt Reeves stuff. Gunn and Zaslav really seem to understand at some level that they need cooler characters, et cetera, et cetera. So we were like, oh, shit, they're going to be Wonder Woman. But guess what, guys? It's not fucking Wonder Woman because this is James Gunn we're talking about. As is often the case with the DC Studios co-chair, Man of Tomorrow writer-director James Gunn took to social media to shoot down the growing buzz that Wonder Woman making her DCU debut as a Superman sequel. And now a new report claims to know the new identity of the character. According to Nexus Point News, the mysterious character will be alien warrior queen Maxima. Dead ass, chat. Have you ever heard of Maxima before? Some of you have. Some Smallville fans, maybe. I think she was in some of the Smallville stuff. Just tell me honest to God truth. Do you know who Maxima is? Yeah, of course, nobody knows who fucking Maxima is. Okay, here's the thing. Member of the royal family of the planet Almerac, Maxima's primary motivation is the survival and evolution of her bloodline. Pay attention. This is where the James Gunn shit comes in. Considering the ultimate genetic prize of her species because of the unique structure of her DNA, she spent years traveling the cosmos in search of a suitable mate. Someone whose power could match her own and produce their capable offspring, capable, or an heir, of ruling Almerac. And that quest led her to Earth, where Kal-El's Kryptonian heritage caught her attention. Jesus Christ, dude. So, look, I don't know how else to tell you this. James Gunn has put into this movie, instead of Wonder Woman, instead of Batman, an alien, deep-cut, weirdo character known as Maxima, who will undoubtedly be wanting to bang Superman the whole time. And I don't know, man. I can't help but feel that this is so fucking James Gunn. It is so ridiculous. I'm absolutely certain that he thinks this will be so funny and so cool. And there's going to be so many scenes where she's checking him out and wanting to bang him. And it's going to be so funny. And there'll be so many funny James Gunn scenes. Holy shit. I just, like, it just keeps happening. It's just, like, yeah, so that's just the first thing. That's the first thing that's out there. And this is the big news, guys. You know, we're talking about fucking Doomsday. We're talking about Tobey Maguire maybe getting shit kicked and getting killed in the opening scene. People are like, no, Toby's not going to die. And that's important because people really care about Toby. And they're like, no, don't worry, he's not going to die. And then you look over at the DC corner, and it's like James Gunn with his goofy-ass James Gunn smile, like picking out his favorite comic book characters for the goofiest, silliest, stupidest reason possible. Fuck this decision. So stupid, okay? But that's not all. That's not all. Because we also have updates about The Brave and the Bold, okay? And Batman in general. Now, it does kind of seem like Gunn has accepted the fact that the Batman, it's just all about Matt Reeves shit. It's just going to be Matt Reeves thing, and that movie is casting way too many cool people, way too much cool shit's going on there, so he cannot possibly build up his Batman while Matt is doing what he's doing. And that's fine. No problem. And so he's instead going to do Maxima and all the goofy-ass James Gunn shit. But he is also making progress on The Brave and the Bold. Now, one of the things that's kind of interesting here is Gunn had been super cagey about who the actual writer was on that movie. Okay? And we kind of now understand why that is. And, yeah, let's pull that up. In fact, we'll just pull up that on Murphy's Multiverse as well. So, Brave and the Bold reportedly set to reunite creatives behind divisive 2023 box office bomb. Isn't that the best? I mean, that's the headline. The goofy-ass alien chick that wants to bang Superman, and Brave and the Bold set to reunite creatives behind divisive 2023 box office bomb. It's a fucking nightmare over there, okay? Despite being one of the first DCU projects revealed in development in January of 2023, The Brave and the Bold has faced its share of struggles in getting off the ground. Though director Andy Muschietti has been attached to the project since mid-2023, DC Studios co-chair James Gunn seemed to make it clear in late 2024 that a script for the project hadn't been delivered and that there was no set timeline for anything. Just a few weeks later, Muschietti stated that the project won't be happening for a while, and now it looks like it's an easy explanation for why it's taken so long to get the script together. One thing that I've tried to make clear to people from the beginning, and the way that I hope we're different, is that everything from DC is going to be based on the writers. Until we have a screenplay that I'm totally happy with, the movie is not going to get made no matter what it is. Okay, so he really cares about the script. Well, check this shit out, because it's about to get really interesting with regards to this script. According to industry insider Jeff Snyder, Christina Hodson, who teamed with Andy Muschietti on The Flash, will pen the screenplay for DC Studios' The Brave and the Bold. Yes, this is unfortunately true, says Apocalypse Horseman on January 21st today, 2026. Following Snyder's report, Scooper Apocalypse Horseman took to Twitter. By the way, Apocalypse Horseman's actually pretty good, not like Beyond Reporter. A lot of people mix those two up for some reason. Twitter heard the same news and explained the delay in getting production off the ground helped Hodson land the role after she had initially passed on it. According to Apocalypse Horseman, Hodson was the original choice to write it, but scheduling must have gotten in the way of that. All the delays of the past writers not working on it worked in her favor. Despite being extraordinarily divisive among fans and bombing at the box office, Gunn called 2023's The Flash one of the best superhero movies I've ever seen, calling Hudson's script magnificent and crediting her for wonderful writing. With allowing the film to work so well, Hodson also wrote scripts for Birds of Prey and Batman, the latter of which was deemed Warner Bros. To be unwatchable. She literally wrote the Batgirl movie and was never released. She also wrote scripts for Bumblebee and some of the well-regarded Transformers stuff, one of the more well-regarded ones. Yeah, Bumblebee was all right. But yeah, Birds of Prey and Batgirl. Wow. And then Flash. Wow, interesting. Okay, so this is fucking terrible, okay? And I think that, you know, one of the reasons... It's just such a weird world. You know, a lot of people are criticizing James these days. I think this is maybe the most criticizable thing he's ever done. I saw a lot of people, like even Chris from 3C Films, chiming in on this and just being like, I really can't believe this is true. I hope this isn't true. You know, Grace Randolph's tweeting that hopefully this changes. And it's because she's, this is at the very least not an exciting pick, but it's also like just a weird pick. Like, what do you mean? Like, legitimately, what do you mean? That you're going to let Matt Reeves write and direct, and you know, he is a writing partner too, but with that Mike guy. But they're going to make Batman. You're going to stay out of the way of that. And then your solution for Batman is going to be literally assembling the creative team behind The Flash, the lady that wrote Batgirl and Birds of Prey. How does that make sense? Like, just from an industry perspective, like, there are probably plenty of people out there that are very talented, that had a bomb or had a misstep, or maybe even the studio interfered and their movie flopped and they had to suffer the consequences of it. That's just what happens. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? This is crazy. It feels the same level of crazy that, like, I think Gunn just is. Like, I don't feel like he's really going to listen to people. I don't feel like he really listens to online criticism. I think he puts basically everything in the world that is counter to what James Gunn wants to do in the bucket of wrong. Because otherwise, like, how do you explain this? How do you explain what should so clearly, so easily be a bad decision? On the one hand, you could say maybe nobody else will literally work for this guy and nobody wants to take this job. And so it's down to slim pickings with this lady. And maybe that is true. But I don't know. It feels like he's got the ability to get other talented people. Then Mike Flanagan working on the Clayface thing or whatever, right? And then it becomes this other guy's script. But I'm sure that Mike Flanagan's stuff is still in there. Gunn was very adamant that he's a Flana fan and whatever, right? It's just weird. It almost feels like Gunn, because he tweeted that this movie was one of the best things ever, he will never let it go. And regardless of how many people say to him, this is a bad move, or this isn't the right idea, or that movie wasn't good, or we don't like that movie, he doesn't care. Like, it's the same level of craziness. And this one is interesting because it has shown, like, a lot of DC fans are kind of like finally starting to scratch their head and get upset about all of this sort of stuff. I don't know. I mean, I just think that I was made to look completely unreasonable and crazy when I started criticizing Gunn for being way too Gunn and for making all these goofy and silly decisions. And we are now at a place where I think it's just like it's obvious to basically everybody that that's what's going on. And I don't think it's going particularly well. So that's your DCU update. Like, the DCU update is they're doing Maxima, silly ass, horny alien chick that wants to bang Superman in Man of Tomorrow. The DCU Batman is probably not coming until 2029, and it will assemble the hit creative team behind one of the biggest flops in the history of Hollywood, The Flash. We can only hope that Tom Cruise comes out and gives the brave and the bold a cosign. What the fuck is happening, dude? So there you go. That's what's going on. What, chat, what do you think, man? What do you think of this? Is anybody actually excited about this? Like, is there people, like, are people like, nah, like this, the alien chick is good? But Brainiac, yeah. Brainiac, yeah. LMAO, I genuinely can't wait for this to fail miserably. Everybody's been so defensive for Gunn, and they're about to find out. Yeah, I do think it's weird, man. Maxima is a dope character. The rest of the stuff I agree with you on. Maxima is not a dope character, dude. I'm sorry. And it's way, like, even if Maxima is a dope character and you liked her in a certain comic or a certain run, you've got to admit that the reason Gunn, like, in all likelihood, the reason Gunn wants to use this character is so that he can fucking James Gunn all over it. Like, I can just see his weird little pervy mind working and writing dialogue for this character and writing awkward scenes. Like, he wants grandpas and grandmas to squirm in the theater and be like, did I make a mistake by bringing little Jimmy to this movie? Like, that's what I'm saying. can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. Emod says, you called it when you said fans are going to start to turn on Gunn. I've lost all faith. Yeah, dude, I think that's probably what's happening. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It just, and like, legitimately, like, that's on top of them just not being able to properly execute. Like, I think the Supergirl trailer looks bad. Like, the movie does not look good. It's not activating an audience. Okay? Your Lantern show is intriguing, but where the fuck is it, dude? And then Clayface is supposed to save your year? I don't see it, man. Like, this all seems bad. And then Man of Tomorrow, which I think is, whether you want to be charitable or you don't, that's their best shot to kind of turn it around. Because, like, dude, I'm telling you, like, I just really do not think I could be wrong, but I do not see Supergirl as being a big smash hit, dude. I really don't. It's just, it's weird. Like, the whole thing feels mismanaged. It doesn't feel like there's a proper plan. It doesn't feel like there's hype and excitement. And I don't know why, but I just know that that's what it feels like. You know? So I just don't know. Like, it feels to me like they might need Supergirl or Man of Tomorrow to be really, really good. And the Maxima thing, like, legitimately, I think the Maxima casting is terrifying. Like, I legitimately think it's terrifying. Like, with his sensibility, that character is a big red flag, dude. That is a massive red flag. Like just imagine, if you will, the entire movie is a serious, like, Brainiac is literally going to destroy worlds. This is a very, very big threat. And it's filled with the levity and the slapstick humor of super sexy alien chick just wanting to bang Clark the whole movie. Like, I just don't trust that with Gunn. It is terrifying. It is terrifying. Honestly, if you could do Diana and do a version of this, because one of the things I've always liked is even Diana kind of appreciates this about Clark. There's moments in Kingdom Come where, like, they're close and they've had, like, a history together or whatever, and, like, Diana's literally telling Clark, like, you should have just been with me and you should have just taken over humanity. And you could have Wonder Woman be in that movie and even have her make comments in the same vein that would be a little bit in the vein of, like, this Earth woman doesn't even know, like, that you're a god and she doesn't respect you the same way or something like that. Like, there's a way to have that flavor in the movie, but you're telling me James Gunn is looking for Maxima. It's red flags all day, dude. Like, it's just, that's not a good road to walk down. So, holy shit, dude. No one wants Gustin back? I like Grant Gustin. I thought he was a great Flash. But also, yeah, I don't know if we really need him back. We probably just need a new thing. You're saying he's a gooner? Yeah, man, I mean, fuck. Buy a heater, for fuck's sake. Hey, Iron Mage, I got 2 space heaters right here, blasting my ass cheeks, dog. They're turning into leather. I got leather cheeks. So don't tell me to buy another heater, although I actually am going to go buy another heater. I'm just mad. Sorry. Does your house heater not work? Jesus, Jeff. Like, Jeff, what the fuck? Jeff, what the fuck, man? Yes, the house heater works. This one individual room that I happen to work in, okay? I got to come in here and talk to you guys all the time. I mean, that's great. It's great. This room, no insulation. This room, broken window. So when the cold Canadian air rips across Lake Erie and flies right into my fucking office, it just goes right through that wall and it freezes my nutsack off. Okay? So no, it's not the heater of the house. Everybody inside the house, they're fine. My wife, my kids, hunky-dory, happy-go-lucky, having a good time. Okay? I'm in here like it's fucking Siberia, brother. The Nerd King says, I wish there was a what if movie for Grant Gustin to be Spider-Man because I think he would kill it. I actually do think he'd be pretty good at Spider-Man. That's a good one. Maybe like, he kind of looked like the Spider-Man from Ultimate Spider-Man a little bit there, yeah. You also probably have radon in your office. Well, whatever the radon level is, I wish it were 100% more so that it would just take me into its cold embrace because it would be warmer than this fucking room. Yeah. Maybe fix it. Jesus Christ. Why does James Gunn insist on shooting from half court? Like, bro, it's DC. It shouldn't be this divisive. I agree with you, actually. Yeah, no, I think he's really, dude. I think there's something wrong with that dude. You know, I got to be honest with you. If you think about his age, this was around the time that like a lot of lead was in pain and stuff. I think there's something wrong with him. You know? Put a hand warmer in your cheeks, dog. Jesus. The annual It's Too Cold Here to Talk. Y'all got me on one today, man. Y'all got me on one today. Get a toasty electric fireplace heater for the vibe. It's not a bad idea, actually. That'd be kind of fun. This is what happens when you sniff your own farts all day. Gun is high as hell. What the fuck? Whiskey heats you up? Yeah, maybe that'll be what we do tomorrow. Have a big old glass of OJ. You need to jack up that metabolism. I don't even know what that means. Are you just saying words? Heated blanket on Amazon. That's not a bad idea. Yeah. In the summer, you're too hot. In the winter, you're too cold. Yes, that is accurate. Yes. Hand warmer in your cheeks. LMAO. Yeah. Aren't you guys the same age? Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Okay, ready to get into the next topic? It's been such a good, lovely stream so far today. I can't imagine anything would go wrong. Fucking poopy buttholes.
What about the most divisive movie of the year? What do you think will be?
Now listen to me, you freaking poopy buttholes. We're gonna talk about Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios Avengers Doomsday. Really interesting comments made out there by Justin Kroll. I'm going to play a clip where he was on a podcast over at Barstool. It's actually called My Mom's Basement with Robbie Fox, which is kind of funny and also reminds me of fucking James Gunn. Okay, anyway. So in this clip, Justin Kroll is discussing Avengers Doomsday. He's discussing it in the context of it being maybe the most divisive movie of the year. And I think part of why he's saying that is because everybody has their mind made up on what the movie is. And he thinks that like what the movie actually will like, he kind of plays it off as like it's just one of those things like Avatar where people are just going to be divisive about it and complain and it'll still make a bunch of money or whatever. But he says something really interesting about Kevin Feige and the work that is being done currently on Doomsday and Secret Wars. He talks a little bit about Sadie Sink too. So I want to pull this up for you and play this.
The most divisive. There's a lot that could be in 2026.
So I think I knew what you want. Like you're talking like a Avengers type thing. Like doesn't set the. I have a
Tons of franchises.
What?
The Last Jedi. What's The Last Jedi of this year? Let's just call it what it is, Rob. You could say it. It's all right.
I have two, and I think one is divisive based on the storyline, and one is divisive just because of like the lead up to it.
Okay.
I think Doomsday is going to be divisive. Like people have made their bet on this one. They're like they have a way they want Marvel to do it. They had their issues last year with this and throughout. And now this whole campaign with the trailers, with how they announced the actors coming back. There's all these things. It's just you just kind of can sense it already. That said, I still think it's Avengers. Look at the track record. Like it's like Avatar. People like Robbie shit on that, and still it makes a billion. This whatever. It's same thing's gonna happen here. The Russos are back, so there's just no way it does. I have like not making a billion, especially when you drop that film. If we learn anything from the holidays, you have all that leg room to just make so much money. What it took Avatar like 14 days to make whatever it was, 17 days to make $1 billion. Crazy, stupid stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think it's similar, but I just feel like people have their mindset on what this film is, no matter what comes about it.
Yeah.
That's kind of an interesting take. Now he's going to talk a little bit about the Feige stuff, and that's really pertinent. But I do wonder what you guys think of that. Do you think the movie's going to be divisive? Do you think? Because what he's kind of saying is like people have their mind made up of what the movie is, and he's kind of saying like it might not live up to the expectations of what people think it will be. And I am curious as to what you guys think about that. However, the next thing that he says is actually made me feel really good and interesting. Check this out.
The one thing I will say, Feige has been so stressed in with the TV shows and all these other things, and then like maybe doing all these things. He has been solely
Did you miss that where he said maybe doing a Star Wars? There's something there.
Focused on this and Secret Wars for like a year straight. Like this has been it.
That's great.
There's no other
We love to
thought
hear
like
that.
He like puts Jake Shire on as the director last year of X-Men. Like other than that, like
I like that too.
there isn't like he's kind of let Amy Pascal handle a lot of the Spider-Man stuff. There wasn't much really like Sadie Sink's there, but other than that, like he's focused on this return. So just know that.
Okay, so let's just talk about that. So what he's saying is, Justin Kroll is saying that he thinks the movie's going to be divisive. He thinks it's going to make a lot of money, and fans are going to be excited about it, and it will pop. I think he's kind of speaking to the rollout and some of the questions fans had. Some of the voices mad about the OGs coming back. I think he's maybe reading a little bit too much into some of the fans that want like fucking She-Hulk to star in everything and all that kind of silly shit. But I think that's kind of what he's saying. Now, what he says about the year straight, that's really interesting. So if you really look at what he said, he first says, Kevin was really stretched thin over the last several years. Now, we've been reporting on that. We've been talking about that. He says with all the TV shows and maybe doing a Star Wars. That's so interesting. And it's something I've spoken to, that Kathleen Kennedy did not just screw up Star Wars, but she's a part of what screwed up Marvel, because Kevin was putting time and energy into trying to make a Star Wars and running into a lot of friction and problems because of Kathy. And I've even heard more than that. I actually, like Kathy, kept him at arm's length. Kathy, it was bad. It was bad. But anyway, so that's kind of interesting. Then he says, but with these two movies, Doomsday and Secret Wars, Feige has been solely focused on this. He's been basically in London for over a year. He is doing nothing but helping the production of Doomsday and Secret Wars. Okay? Now, he also mentions a few things that within that year did take Kevin's attention away. One being putting Jake Schreier on X-Men. But the other thing he said was that Amy Pascal's basically on Spider-Man, and there's not really anything too serious that Kevin has to worry about there. There is Sadie Sink, but other than that, there's nothing that Kevin has to worry about. Now, what's interesting about that is it implies that Kevin, in the midst of being solely focused on Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, came out of hiding in London to cast, or to get a director of the X-Men and to cast Shakira, the Wasp-like entity being in Spider-Man Brand New Day. I didn't actually think that Shakira, the Wasp lady, was that important. But obviously, I don't know anything, and therefore, that's really, really a big deal, because it did pull Kevin's attention away from what was otherwise his total and complete focus on the Doomsday and Secret Wars. I'm being facetious, of course, because it's so obvious that if he's getting pulled away for the X-Men movie with Jake Schreier, and there's something that in the Spider-Man movie and it's Sadie Sink, doesn't that mean there's something really important about Sadie Sink? Maybe that she's Jean fucking Grey? But anyway, that's one part of this. And of course, I have to mention that because I like to brag and all that, right? But the other thing is, it is interesting that Kevin has had a sole focus on these two movies. And man, we've heard some weird stuff. Like Snyder has said a couple of times, not just once, but several times in the past, I don't know, I want to say 6 to 9 months. He has basically made the case that Bob Iger would be disappointed if those were the only two movies coming out solely under Marvel, because they only get 25% of the Spider-Man thing, right? So it's basically down to just Doomsday and just Secret Wars, right? But as a fan, not as Bob Iger, as a fan, I'm pumped about that. I do think part of the issue with Phase 4 and Phase 5 and a little bit of Phase 6 was that Kevin was stretched too thin. I think he lost some battles. I think he gave up some battles. It's like super fucking weird, right? Like you look at Marvel Studios, you look at Phase 1, 2, 3, and how was it so good and so ambitious? It's not like they didn't have their moments and blemishes and some movies didn't go well, but by and large, an incredible catalog, an incredible story that had this build up and payoff that was unbelievable. And then we just get into these other movies and it's just things are not connected. There's the seeming like a lack of quality. It feels really goobly glob. That didn't just happen. It happened because Kevin was so involved in phases 1, 2, and 3. And then he kind of backed off. He backed off when it went into phase 4, 5, and 6, and he was stretched thin because of the television and the movies and Star Wars and some of the things he was trying to do. And I think in an effort to correct that, at maybe the perfect time, he is now solely dedicated to 2 large movies. And I think that's awesome. And I think that's what it will take to make sure that these movies are absolutely incredible. We know there's probably some stuff that he's still doing here and there. Like Justin's just saying that like he's really locked in and he's been really locked in and rarely leaves. And he's not really working on the movies. Like the actual production of Spider-Man is being handled by Amy Pascal, which, I mean, Amy is incredible, right? And they have a good relationship and he can trust her. That's awesome. But it just speaks to the importance, the time, the energy, the focus that Kevin is giving to Doomsday and Secret Wars. And I think that for me as a fan, it feels awesome. I think these are the most important comic book movies of all time. I think Doomsday might be the most important one. And the funny thing is, if Doomsday succeeds, then it just makes Secret Wars the most important one, right? These are incredibly important, not just to like getting the fandom back and getting Marvel back in the zeitgeist and it feeling like a party and everybody's succeeding and it all feels awesome, but it has to carry through into what happens after this. The X-Men, you know, the next X-Men movie, maybe the X-Force film, the next Black Panther movie, the next Fantastic Four movie, the next Spider-Man movie. You need to kind of recapture interest, and then you need to get to work at executing in a way that you haven't before. And so I personally, I like this. I'm psyched about it. And I do think it means that these movies are going to be absolutely incredible. I think it means that Marvel for sure knows that these are the most important ones. And Kevin specifically knows that. And it's kind of like him saying, fuck you, Bob Iger. You're out of here in a month anyways. This is like my Andor, right? Like Kathy basically tells everybody to fuck off and spend $700 million making a show that nobody watched. And she did that, you know, maybe in spite of what Iger and Disney wanted, and she really put her foot down and it got her one thing. This is like Kevin's Andor, except that it's fucking awesome and that it's Doctor Doom and it'll be incredible and it'll actually help all of Marvel, not just one specific niche version of Marvel, like what they did with Andor. So I'm psyched, man. I think this is awesome. Chat, what do you make of this? Is this a huge W? Is this a L's? What do you guys think of this? What do you think of this shit, huh? We're losing everyone, basically. Wait, what do you mean? At Disney? There's a lot of people. Yeah. I think Iger is stepping down for sure. Marvel gets 100% of the merchandising from Spidey, and that's where the real money is at. I don't know that they get 100% of the merchandising, but they do make a lot of money. Every time one of these Spider-Man movies comes out, they make a lot of money. You know, I'm not saying that, but what I was suggesting to you was that Bob Iger would be disappointed in his movie studio if it only had 2 movies in the next 2 years when it normally did 2 to 3 to 4 a year. That's what I was saying. That $700 million price tag is steep as a motherfucker, though. Disney Plus, take it on the chin, though. Yeah, it is an incredible amount of money. I don't even think Doomsday will cost that much. I mean, it might get up there. It might get close. Like, it might get to 5, for real. But I don't think it's going to cost $700 million to produce that movie. When they did 4 to 5 of those movies were kind of shit, though. Not true. There was a time where they could put out 3 movies a year, and they were awesome. It was not in the last 5 years. But there was a time, dude. There was a time where they could really crush it like that and have 2 to 3 movies, even 4 a couple of years that were really awesome. So, look, I'm not saying that they need to go back to that. I think the truth is it was not just the movies, it was the shows, right? The shows really muddied everything up, and that took a lot of energy, time, and whatever. And then it was probably like expanding into Star Wars and just being stretched thin as everything fell apart. That's kind of part of the problem. Also, Skeleton Crew, all that sucked. Yeah, I don't like Skeleton Crew either. I know it has its fans or whatever, but yeah, I don't really dig it. I sure hope the Russos analyze what went wrong in the last movie. What do you mean? RDJ, right? There, boom, 45 plus milli, and then add all the stars pay. Yeah, no, it's a lot. I mean, it's gonna be big money. He's also a big Star Wars fan. Are you talking about Kevin Feige? Yeah, he loves Star Wars, dude, and I would love to see what he did with Star Wars. But alas, I don't know that that's ever gonna happen now. Yeah. They don't need to analyze shit. No, I just think they need to make a banger of a movie, dude. They need to make one of the greatest comic book movies ever, for sure. Yeah, and then they need to make another one. Another one. RDJ got paid that amount for 2 movies, so they get him for Secret Wars at that price, too. Look, RDJ is not the problem. RDJ is worth what you pay him. And without RDJ, I think Doomsday feels way worse. Like, I know some people are like, oh, well, that's, whatever. RDJ Doom, what a silly casting. It doesn't make any sense. Dude, without RDJ in this thing, it would be worse. The narrative would be worse. Yeah. So just trust. It's going to be good. What if Doomsday is fire and Secret Wars is ass? Well, that would be unfortunate, but at least Doomsday would be great, and I think a whole bunch of people would still see Secret Wars either way. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, dude, these are going to be very, very expensive movies, but, like, they need to be. They need to be great. And I'm psyched, man. I'm psyched that he's taking that much time. It is interesting, the Sadie Sink stuff, the X-Men stuff that he's cooking potentially as well. But, yeah, I mean, the guy basically said, fuck all the noise. I'm not doing anything but making sure that Doomsday is dope and that Secret Wars is going to be dope after that. And I think given where things are at, I think that is the perfect way to go about it. And I think we're going to see the dividends of that. I see so many people who aren't in the know, like us, who think the RDJ casting is a cash grab. What will Marvel have to do to convince people that it is not before the movie drops? Well, it's funny. I would say that if there is no explanation for why RDJ's Doctor Doom looks like RDJ Tony Stark, then the reason I will not like that is because I will view it as a cash grab then. Do you know what I'm saying? If there's no explanation at all, then the only explanation is the cash grab. The only explanation is the hype, is the excitement that you get from a guy like Downey. And in that case, then it's bad casting to me, because I think legitimately there are better actors to play Victor Von Doom, okay? So part of the reason that I will hate it if there is no reason is because I think there's really no defense of it. I think unless there's some story reason, then it literally just is a cash grab. And I think that's actually why most people don't, they just can't wrap their head around the theory that I have. And so therefore that's why they're mad that it is a cash grab. They're actually kind of justified in feeling that way. But what they can't see is that it is so obviously not a cash grab. There is obviously a story reason. And I have a big video coming out about that probably tomorrow. I mean, I could get it done today, but it's really cold in here. So I'm probably going to just release that video tomorrow. But yeah. RDJ is a phenomenal actor. That's why he got the role. No. I mean, yes, he is a phenomenal actor, but that is not why he got the role. If that is why, because here's the thing, even if he got the role because he's RDJ and there's no connection to them, it's a cash grab because of the pull he has, not because of his talent, but because of the draw. He is a movie star. Okay? So he did not get the job for his talent either way. He is talented. That is not to say that he is not a talented guy, but you don't pay somebody that amount of money for only talent. It is commercial art. You have to put butts in seats. Robert Downey Jr. can put butts in seats in Marvel movies. It's not even totally proven that he can do that outside of Marvel movies, although I think he is a phenomenal actor. But y'all remember Doolittle? Did y'all watch Doolittle? No, you didn't. Because nobody watched that movie. It fucking bombed, dog. Semantics? Oh, every day they will test you. Every day they will test you, you know? Sherlock was dope. Sherlock was dope. He was phenomenal in Oppenheimer. Yeah, he's pretty good in Oppenheimer, yeah. With the biggest marketing campaign Marvel has ever had, there's no shot that Super Bowl Sunday passes and we don't get a trailer. Yeah, I actually agree with you, Johnny. You know, so right now when it comes to the Spider-Man trailer, it's kind of an interesting side tangent here. So many questions. Like, first of all, like, where the fuck is this trailer? It leaked over a month ago. Where is it? You know, Alex, you know, made the comments earlier in the week, and I believe Alex. I think he doesn't just say shit for no reason. He usually says it to fuck up my live streams. So when Alex says that he thinks the trailer release is imminent, I believe him. A lot of people also have been pointing out that Sony doesn't usually do the Super Bowl. They just don't. They don't have a history of doing it. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they're Japanese. I don't know. But they usually don't. So the odds of the Spider-Man trailer actually dropping in the Super Bowl seem low. Well, then where the fuck is the trailer? It should drop now. I swear to God, if they drop this trailer on Friday when it is cold as fuck, and I already said I wasn't going to stream, I'm going to poop. I'm going to poop. I'm going to throw my poop around like a wild animal. So thanks for the question. Appreciate it. Oh, we got one more story today. Oh, it's been such a good stream. I'm so glad. I'm so happy with the stream. If Netflix fires Gunn, who should replace him? We could go out into the streets of San Diego and we could find literally any bum off the street and put them in the position and things will get better. And we'd also be helping the homeless problem. So, two birds, one stone, you know what I mean? Okay. Oh, y'all thought I was done complaining about Star Wars and Star Wars fandom and Andor and all that shit? Nope. I got more to say. So does The Wrap. Because The Wrap just put out another article about Dave Filoni, man. We had an article drop over the weekend from The Wrap. Maybe it dropped on Friday. And it was like, Kathleen Kennedy's the best. She's so awesome and good looking, and all of her movies are great, and everybody that doesn't like her is a sexist, toxic fuckface. Oh, and by the way, Dave Filoni doesn't even like Andor, because he's a big, dumb, blue-collar yinzer piece of shit. And I'm quoting right from the article on The Wrap. I thought it was pretty wild language. Later on, Lucasfilm issues a denial, and The Wrap begrudgingly puts the denial back into their article where they say a spokesperson from Lucasfilm said that Dave is not a yinzer dumbass. That all happened. And caused a bit of kerfuffle on the internet. A lot of people were like, I don't like that Dave doesn't like Andor. I'm really concerned that I won't get more Andor Star Wars in the future. And I don't want more Ahsoka and Anakin Skywalker. Man, fuck that guy. You know what? The Chosen One, choose to leave me alone and get out of my Star Wars. You know, a lot of upset people. Well, guess what? The Wrap wasn't done. The Wrap wasn't done. They had more shit to say. Iman, welcome to the Nerd Avengers. The Wrap put out another article and said that Dave Filoni wasn't fond of Visions. Man, I'm serious. I'm serious. They did that. What are they doing? So they just keep taking shots. The memes have been kind of funny, where people have been like, oh, it just was reported that last night Dave Filoni didn't enjoy the pepperoni pizza he got from Pizza Hut as it was a little too greasy and didn't have enough Ahsoka and CGI'd Anakin Skywalker. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So the internet's having fun with it. But at the same time, like, dude, this dude hasn't even been in the job for a week. And man, somebody at The Wrap or somebody at Lucasfilm that's really upset that Dave got this job is out there leaking all of this sort of stuff. Wild. So what if this is true? Let's just consider for a moment, because even the stuff about Andor, like, I know we already had our debate about Andor and all that sort of stuff, right? Even with that being what it was and the denial, I personally still think Dave is not a big fan of Andor, and I still think Dave does not want to make more Andor-like Star Wars projects. What do you guys think? Like, do you agree or disagree with that statement? I think Dave would be reluctant to make more Andor-type Star Wars. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And then let's talk about Visions. I gotta tell you, I could see Dave also not liking Visions. Yeah, because if you look at what Visions is, there's some elements of it that are cool. There were some, like, I guess, episodes that were particularly cool, like The Duel, The Ninth Jedi, you know. But by and large, Visions is like people that like Star Wars making like licensed fan fiction. They don't follow the rules of the Force. They don't follow the George Lucas Star Wars. And they're taking liberties and doing things that I think are really outside of what the normal Star Wars thing would be. And I really think Dave probably views that as a mistake. Now, Dave has an affection and appreciation for Japanese art. Famously, Dave organized a screening of Godzilla -1 at Skywalker Ranch with the actual director of that, and it sort of reached out and was very positive on that guy, maybe even doing a Star Wars. And I think Dave has an appreciation for, you know, anime and Japanese culture, all of these different things. And of course, samurai and some, I guess, Bushido elements do make their way into Star Wars via George and his sort of eclectic taste and all that sort of stuff. But I think what Dave would rather do is get a really good Japanese either anime studio or maybe a mangaka or a director or a writer to actually create canonical Star Wars within the aesthetic of anime or manga. That's what I think. And that's preferable to even me. Like, so there's some stuff where like Miyazaki, the guy from Studio Ghibli, did like a little sketch of like Baby Yoda or something. And I think there was a meeting when they were doing Tokyo, Japan, where Dave was there or something. And I remember seeing that and just being like, dude, what if Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli like actually made a Star Wars movie? Not a Visions episode. No, fuck that. A real Star Wars movie that's canonical, that follows the rules of Star Wars, I think that would be great, man. I think that would be great. And I got to tell you, I'm not reporting anything here, but I'm just like speculating. If that were the case, if everything I just described to you was true, do you think maybe it would come out in the trades maybe the way that it's coming out right now via the Wrap? I mean, if you think about it, the Wrap is like kind of saying Dave didn't like Andor. Dave didn't like Visions. Well, what does Andor and Visions have in common? They stray from George Lucas' Star Wars. What has Dave said since basically birth? I heard his first words were George Lucas Star Wars. It's crazy articulate for an infant, but like, he's that guy. Okay? And it seems like the people at the Wrap are hell-bent on making him have a bad time of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just seems like what they're trying to do. They're trying to set up a scenario, a narrative, potentially a movement that will have Star Wars fans criticizing the moves that Filoni makes before he even starts making them. It's insane. So that is happening. It is seemingly an organized and concerted effort. I actually hope it's real. And I hope Dave takes the fucking reins of Star Wars and wrangles it back into what it should be. And I do think there would be some people that would be upset about that. There would be some people that didn't like that. And I don't give a shit. Fuck them. That's what needs to happen. And he should also cancel those Rey movies in that Simon Kinberg trilogy. So anyway, that's the updates. That's the story about Dave Filoni, about Star Wars, about all that sort of stuff. What do you make of that, chat? Do you have any thoughts, comments, questions? Does any of this make sense? Why do you think the trades keep saying that Dave didn't like this, Dave didn't like that? What do you think's going on? MCU spoiler, the people wearing the golden mask will be John Campea. That's why he's saying it's the greatest movie ever. Well, there you go. You're acting as if he has pedigree out of animation. Well, not necessarily, because Dave won't be the guy making all the stuff. And I think maybe his new role is a little bit more of like the guideline kind of a guy. But if he's anything like George, he can't really separate the two. Like, part of why, I mean, George was such a micromanager, man. Yeah. Hey, GeekyCast, I know, fuck you, stop using all caps in my chat, and also fuck you because you're an hour late. We already went over that. And also fuck you because I don't even think it's true. I hope Toby gets destroyed, skull fucked. Scene 1. But thanks, appreciate it. They didn't like the fact that I rooted for KK is gone parade past their main office. Well, I don't even think there was too much of a celebration about Kathleen. I mean, I didn't celebrate. I didn't see a lot of people celebrating Kathy's exit. Did I miss something? Like, is there a lot of people out there celebrating Kathleen Kennedy's exit? I didn't really see it. He's got to do better than Ahsoka season 1 finale episodes. I have hope, though. Yeah. And I also hope he sort of pulls a James Gunn. And I hope the reason that Ahsoka is delayed, which I think Ahsoka is delayed. Some people still think it's coming out in 2026. I don't think so. And I hope that it's delayed because he's like, you know, I am the boss now. And I need $100 million extra for Ahsoka season 2. And I hope Bob Iger's like, I don't know about that. And I hope Dave says, you're out of here in a month, Bob. Fuck you. Give me my money. Pay me my money, or I'm going to make things real sticky for you. That'd be cool. I don't know that that's going to happen, but I kind of hope that's what's happening. And I hope Dave cancels every silly, stupid project. I hope he fucking goes and somehow gets his money back for Andor. You know what I mean? Like, what if Dave comes out? This would be the best. You guys would hate this shit so much, but this is what I want. I want Dave to come out and be like, you might have seen, heard a video in the Hollywood trades that I didn't like Andor. It's true. I don't like it. We're taking it off Disney Plus so that I don't have to pay the continuous license fees. That's right. I'm pulling a David Zaslav. Give me a Diet Coke because I don't give a fuck anymore. Hell yeah. And then take that shit off of Disney Plus. Delete it. But that probably won't happen. So we'll have to live with whatever does happen. Any other thoughts, comments, questions, concerns about Mr. Filoni or about Star Wars? I don't know. It feels like the rap is trying to like make everybody mad at Dave, and yet everything they're reporting is getting me excited. Everything they're reporting is actually making me more hopeful. Like, fuck Star Wars Visions, dude. Like, that shit is kind of weak. Let's be honest. What's the percentage of episodes that are even fucking watchable in Star Wars Visions? You know what? Fucking delete that shit off the app too. Jeez. Like, real talk, it's not even good, dude. Half of season 1 was good. There's like 3 or 4 good episodes in season 1. Kathy still has friends in the media. I think it's a little bit of shots fired. I think she's happy with it. Yeah, maybe, yeah. I hope Dave hire a bunch of YouTubers to write Star Wars moving forward. That's a weird take. I will only accept it if I'm the one hired. I want to see James Gunn's Star Wars movie. No, you don't! Masters of the Universe teaser is out. Yeah, I saw the Masters of the Universe teaser. What did you guys think of that? Because I love the nostalgia. I love the vibes. I love the intro and the tube TV and everything. But then when they show the actual movie, I was like, this doesn't look good. I hope it looks a lot better in the actual trailer. Because, like, real talk, I was so ready to be excited about that movie. And I was like, damn, this is really cool. Oh, hell yeah, we're getting psyched up. Yeah, man, back in the 80s, man, when shit was real, when we had real heroes, let's fucking go. And then you look at that back half of the trailer, you're like, like I think it looks pretty bad. Give Filoni Star Trek. I'm curious to see what he'd do with it, brother. You are driving me. You are forcing me to. Something's happening in my psyche right now. Iman says, Josh, if somehow they saved the damage they done to Luke, made a KOTOR show or movie cancellation, 6 Rey movies, would Star Wars be back? That would be a good start. Yes. That would be a good start. Yes. Oh man, chat. Y'all have me on one today, man. Did we talk about Doomsday yet? Yes, we did. Yes, we did. It looks like a fish out of water story. Maybe I'm wrong. Hope so. I don't like it. I don't like it. Star Wars! Let's go, Filoni. Let's go, man. Let's go, Dave. Fuck these haters, bro. Fuck these haters. Fuck the Hollywood trades, dog. Fuck Andor. Fuck Star Wars Vision. It's Anakin Slop forever. Hell yeah. Okay, so that's going to do it for all of our topics. That was a nice little stream, huh, guys? Did you feel like that was a nice little stream? Hey, did Alex clarify his vagary yet? Hey, where you at, Geeky? Where you at, Geeky? Did Alex get explicit about his shit? We're so positive today. Hell yeah, we are. Josh, you missed my Visions take. Okay, let me see here. Visions take, huh? What's your name? Miss your Visions? The fuck? Where's it? What? Where's your Visions take, bruh? She was in the 90s Superman cartoon and the 90s comics. Oh, I must have missed it when I was like watching better shit and experiencing cooler characters. Fuck out of here with that. What if the okay, we already saw that there. That's a good one. You're letting these leaks become your expectations. We have to stop doing that again. Haven't we learned by now? Alex, do I look like a man that has learned by now? Come on, man. Buffer Overrun says, is this the Deadpool Wolverine variant or another variant? That's actually a great question. Again, I feel like it has to be the one for Deadpool and Wolverine. Maybe that can be a variant as well. I don't know, Dan. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question, though. Where's the Vision's take? I don't even see a Vision's take. Who the hell's talking? There ain't nobody talking about Vision, bruh. What are you talking about in here, man? I don't see any super chats or chats about Visions. Get James Gunn Masters of the Universe movie. Wow. I mean, you know what? Actually, nah. I was gonna say he could handle parts of that. Actually, he wouldn't be the worst at that. How long would he have gotten there? He's talking about Star Wars Visions. What? I'll miss you, Josh. Be well. Geeky out. What? What do you mean? You all right? Or you just mean you're leaving right for now? I'll miss you too, but you all right? Fantastic Four post-credit scene is actually in Doomsday. Maybe. It's a regular chat? Well, then just put it into the chat again, brother. Just put it into the chat right now and I'll see it, brother. What do you think of Brandon Skelenar playing Batman? I would like that. Yeah, I'm down with Skelenar, man. I'm down. What if there's a Cavalry? That'd be hot. So hot. Vision should have been... Huh? I feel like they kind of fucked the timeline with Deadpool because technically the original Logan would still be alive. Yes, there might be two Logans there. Maybe that's what it is. Josh, you going out to SDCC? I don't know, brother. It's way too early. I don't even know what I'm having for lunch, you know? Welcome to Thunderdome, Geeky. I have hope for Wonder Man. Interesting that Vision Quest is coming soon after. Is it coming soon after? Vision Season 1 should have been a bunch of pilots, and they could have taken the most popular ones and made them into an anime. Season 2 is proof that they had no plan. Fair. Yeah, fair. And, yeah, I also just felt like the quality in Season 2 dipped a bit, and it just was too out there. What do you think of Marissa Tomei Doom variant since she and Tony kind of flirted in Civil War? Only if there's a graphic sex scene between Marissa Tomei's Doctor Doom and RDJ's Doctor Doom, and they're like banging it out, but they're like, the masks stay on, everything else can go. You know? Fucking Rossi says with a $5 hauler, Alex Perez just scooped female custodians in the Cavill show with no explanation in the lore. 100% Rose. Awesome. Awesome. Just another day. Just another day. All right. So anyway, mask and boots. Hell yeah. You gotta get that traction. You know, have a firm. Yeah. Okay. So chat, just so y'all know what's going on. I will be here freezing my dick off tomorrow. Again, streaming in here, but no stream Friday. We are pushing the nerdy FAP into next week, and potentially, if it's frozen all week next week, we're gonna push it again. I'm hoping to have more streams next week, but I gotta go out, find a new snowsuit, get a tarp, find a small way to do a fire, maybe another space heater. I'm not sure, but I do have to go figure that out. So we'll be back at it. We'll be back at it tomorrow, streaming and having fun. And then Friday, no stream, maybe no stream Monday, but then otherwise, hopefully everything gets back to normal. We can handle this sort of shit, okay? It's crazy. Yes, I will fix the window, Daniel. You think I don't know? I wish you guys could, like, literally, it's like freezing in here. All right, anyway, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the love, the support. We did have a good day today. I know. Dude, the exploding trees are real. Did you hear about this shit? It's going to get so fucking cold that trees are going to explode. Yeah. Yeah, that's real. Look that shit up. Gonna explode. Just like my tree's gonna explode when Toby gets killed by Wolverine at the beginning of the Doomsday movie. It's gonna be sick. All right, everybody, much love. Appreciate you all. Much love. Take care. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video.
Good evening, yeah. Live from the moon, live from the moon. It's me, you know. Live from the moon. Take me home, 10-time champ, about to be 11. Understand I'm down to die for my leather, bitch. Live from the moon. Live from this 40-foot speedboat, I hope you brought your sea legs, bitch. Young Bronson run ting like relays, live from the moon. Live from the moon. My third eye been popping for 10 years. I don't got no fears, I don't got no tears. I don't get caught up in the bright lights, dear. And yes, I am the human highlight reel. They say I'm built strong like pyramids in Egypt. Ever since a fetus, I have visions of a leader. Purple X6 truck driven by a cheetah. Look, it's Don Cheadle. No, it's just me, ho. Me. Live from the moon. Feel me? Yeah. Live from the moon. Under pressure like Mercury and Bowie. My man's never hot, nah, baby, you don't know me. Your boy stay cozy, laying in a bed full of roses, sipping rosy, chilling with Kobe's on. Go rollie on a phony arm.
Is everybody gone?
Indiana Jones is better, bitch. Turn the bitch to fist excavate.
Did everybody leave? Oh man, it was a good one. And by a good one, I mean a terrible one. And by a terrible one, I mean you guys had a great time, and it was probably real entertaining. But I'm up here barely keeping it together, okay? I could have used a much smoother stream, and I expect you to be on your best behavior tomorrow, where we will have chill shit, and it's not gonna get debunked in the middle of the fucking stream, and I'm not looking at chat. I'm never looking at chat again. All right, hang on, let me get my composure here. It's all good. Appreciate you guys. Much love. But be better tomorrow. All right. Hey, do me a favor on your way out, huh? Hey, do me a favor on your way out. Open up your third eye.
Turn the beat up a lot. Like a shit ton.
And watch out your stinking butt. Ah!
Like a little.
I told that nigga grab her hand, then you gon' have some fun and dance, and do some shit you never did before, and do some shit you never did before. I told that nigga grab her hand, then you gon' have some fun and dance, and do some shit you never did before, and do some shit you never did before.
Whip for some money, mix it up with some liquor. She say I'm being a dick, like my name was Richard. I can't be cold, I'm no blizzard. Don't do dress codes, I'm that nigga. I wear a poncho, sombrero, la cucaracha came with us with every fish and he fishing. I drop his name to these bitches. I see if she wanna dance. She sent my shot in the distance, but then she paused. Stop. Are you Michael Christmas? I told her yes. She said my boyfriend is a fan and she dipped in her hand.
Grab her hand, then you gon' have some fun and dance, and do some shit you never did before, and do some shit you never did before.